Hello viewers, in this video we will discuss how Ukraine-Russia war will end. Before going directly to the conclusion, let's have a background that how this war started between Ukraine and Russia and what is the reason why this war is started by Russians. Ukraine want to be a NATO member. Right now, Ukraine is not a member of NATO, but Ukraine is a partner of NATO. So Russia started this war initially because Russia thought if Ukraine went to the membership for the NATO, US may come to the Ukraine and got the US bases, then it is almost very easy, very near to the Russia for US to target Russians. That's why that was the fear that Putin started this war. So what was the plan of Putin initially? Russians, what they want, their plan is to capture Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. They thought it is very easy. We're gonna capture the capital of Kyiv in few days. But when they started from the area region from the Belarus, from this area, they entered in Ukraine because it is a nearby route for the Russians to capture Kiev. So they started airborne operation as well, and so they thought they're gonna capture this in few days, but Ukraine doesn't let them to capture their capital, and so it was plan A was not successful for the Russians, so Russians retreat themselves from Kyiv surroundings when they think realize actually that it is not now possible. It is not possible to capture the Kyiv from this area. So plan A was not successful for the Russians, for the Putins. The next plan, so they retreat themselves from the surroundings of Kiev, and then the next plan to enter in Ukraine from the eastern side. So why? But why Russia want to enter? Actually, Russia want a pro-Russian government in Ukraine. Russia want their hold on Ukraine. Russians don't want Ukraine to be a member of NATO. They think if Ukraine go for the membership, so it will not be possible for them to control them. So US will more likely to have more control in them, so they could be in danger. That's they think. So secondly, in this plan B, second plan, they entered from the eastern Ukraine. So they entered from the Donbas areas, Kherson, and this area near the Dnipro river. So Zaporizhia, this area they captured. What initially they crossed this Dnipro river, but Ukraine showed again they didn't let them Russians to move forward. So what Russians retreated themselves again, second time in this war, again from Dnipro river area. So initially they have crossed this river, but when they crossed this river, they realized it is not, they are not comfortable getting the supplies of everything it is easy if they stay behind the Dnipro river. It will be easy for them to have the supplies, and it will be an easy route, easy access for them. So they retrieved themselves. They came back to this Donbass area. So this was the second time. This was when Russians retreated in this war. Actually, it's a Russian war conflict is like the previous conflict between Iran and Iraq. War started in 1980s. Different times at this war, Russia resembled Iran position, whereas if you talk about the Ukraine has mirrored Iraq in this war. The similarities between this war and Iran-Iraq war is that between this war is between the neighbors, and they fought over territories and resources. Thirdly, the third thing which is common in this war is Western weapons helped. In 1980s, Western weapons helped Iraq. In this, they are helping Ukrainians. Although Iraq achieved early success against Iran, even Iran is much larger than Iraq. In this war, seems like Ukraine achieved an early success because they retrieved the Russians from the Kiev surroundings and the Dnipro River. But if you talk about both are not in a position that if we can say that other side is going to lose this war. No, this is not the position of this war at this time. In this war, if you talk about Western are helping Ukrainians, but if you talk about the China, in this conflict, China is playing a role of lukewarm friend against the Ukraine. Sometimes they are also unable or maybe unwilling to force Putin's to go to the negotiating table, because maybe inside from both China and the US, they both want to continue this war, maybe because they could be in their interest if this war continue as long as possible. So now the situation right now is that both are not, if you talk about the conclusion, how this war or when this war, Ukraine-Russia war will end. Usually, if you see the conflicts ended like both parties, one of them as it is strong, whereas the second party is not as much strong as weak, and they both come to the table, and the weak party need to have some compromises, whereas whereas the strong party ask their demand, and the weak party fulfill their demands. That's the situation. But this war is totally different. We can't say Ukrainians are going to ahead of Russians or Russians like that. So conclusion directly could be different scenarios of this Ukraine-Russia war. So the first scenario to end this Ukraine-Russia war, this could be the Russian got guarantees from NATO and the US. But the question is that is really US want this to end this war, or this could be in the interest of US if this war may continue. The second scenario, this could be the EU stand against US, and they decide by themselves that they want to end this war. because they are suffering, EU is suffering in different contexts. They, especially in the gas prices and the product prices, are getting higher day by day. But these prices are not affecting US, they are affecting to the EU members. So EU stand against US and they ask Russians to go to the table of negotiation. The third scenario, if we talk about the Russians as a country, Russian collapsed. But is it really possible that Russia gonna collapse in next few weeks or months? Which is not possible. I think that Russia gonna collapse. Same like that, the Ukraine collapse as a country. So this war may end. But does really US will allow Ukrainians, will allow Ukraine to collapse as a country? I don't think so. I don't think so. The next scenario, how this Ukraine-Russia war will end. Ukraine ask US and EU countries that we want to end this war, we want to withdraw because our people are suffering, we are suffering, and EU and Ukraine both can ask US that we are suffering, so we want to end this war. But in this situation where a different number of countries are involved in the war, in this situation it is not possible for the countries that they are fighting, like Ukraine and Russia. It is not possible for them to make a decision by themselves and implement this decision. They need to discuss. They need to first have a discussion with the other countries. So Ukraine need to discuss with EU and especially US, because US is helping Ukraine, so it is not possible for the Ukraine that without letting know to US, without discussing them, they are gonna make any decision. Secondly, this war officially, this could be without any agreement. Both parties think that they are exhausted. Now they don't want anything. They don't want war without agreement. This could be a ceasefire. Like in this situation, there could be a ceasefire for a few days or a few weeks. And when this ceasefire period is about to end, so they may extend this period. In this scenario, in this situation, because there is no official agreement, so this war may start again anytime. So this is not a permanent solution. Right now, in this situation where Russians are in the area of Donbass and both parties are not in a position that we can say this party is going to lose, so this war may end. So in the as per the experts also, so in the recent upcoming few weeks, it is not possible that Ukraine-Russia war will end officially. This could be a maybe a ceasefire for a few days or a few weeks, but right now it is not possible to officially this war gonna end in the next few days. I will update you if anything happen, or you can let me know in the comment section that what do you think when this Ukraine-Russia war will end and how this Ukraine-Russia war will end. Thank you for watching. I hope you will like this video. Subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends. Thank you.